Hello everyone. Today I will be working on the antique fan quilt I started in the last episode of season 400. We will be covering 9 more interesting meandering techniques to enhance this wonderful quilt. For this block, I am going to do a little pinwheel here, and then I'm going to follow the shape of the applique, another little pinwheel here, and then come back, just echoing that shape, and then a pinwheel here, following the shape, but I'll reach out a little further. Pinwheel here, and inside of that area I am just going to do a pattern meandering back and forth to the sides. I want to make sure that I stay perpendicular to that bottom line, which is right here. This is the bottom line. I'm keeping my meandering perpendicular to that and then reaching out so it kind of fans around. You probably wouldn't be sewing this fast, but we have a lot of blocks to cover. That's going to make that look like a crown, I think. And then when we're finished, we'll come back and we'll echo the outside again. And on this side. And of course we're going to run out of echoes when we get close to the edge. So I will just bounce back and continue to echo all the way to the corner of my block. You see that I'm running out of echoes on the sides. That's my last one in there. Just bounce back. I know it feels funny, but it looks terrific. There we go. And that block is finished. I really like it. For the next block, I decided to put a feathered wreath at the top of it. And so I'm starting, and I have my cross lines on my circle so I can see exactly where I am and get that centered. And then I'll start down here. Now I did put it into regulated stitch as I go around this circle. And I just move my hands around like that and then meet up where I was, and I can cut those threads now. And while I'm here, now I'm going to change into my constant mode. I will finish this inside with some feathers, and you just come around, circular, and then follow the side, around, follow, around, follow, around, follow, and I can see that I need one more feather right there. Now I'm going to change my speed just a little bit higher, and I will reach out, and I'm just doing the long arm feather, reach out with those feathers and come back, reach out, reach out. I follow that line back and fill in all the area around it. It's so beautiful because you can just reach out and fill in every single bit of that block as you go around. And I don't really have, I'm so used to following that feather as I go back up. I just follow the side of that feather. There we go, we'll reach out there. Put a smaller one in there, and there we go. Now on the inside of this you could certainly stipple or echo. I think I'll leave it plain because I haven't done a lot of quilting on here, so I'm happy with it just the way it is. Now in this block I am going to put a spider web, and I'm coming up here. Let me cut my thread. I will be following the side over like that, and I will come back down through the middle like that. I think I'll be able to follow this over like this, right to there, and then come over, see, right here, and then I'll come out this direction. And then back over. Okay, well, maybe one more here. I'm not a spider, so I'm not really good at this, but as I come back here, I will be following these over like this, and I'm just going to make it that angle like that. Needed really one more in there. I'm going to put one more. There we go. Come out here and do another one. And you could certainly use your ruler on every single one of these. Make sure they're right. Come back down through here. And just follow the applique where I need to be. And then out here on the edge. Now I will come back and put a little black spider in there, so I will change thread, but I'll do that at the end of this row when I can change my thread and come back and drop a spider in there. Now next to the spider web, I am going to put a universe in here, and I'm just doing my loops and stars, and it's just the star like this, and then the loops, but I think that we need to put a planet in there. So, you know, the prettiest planet I can think of is Saturn. So if we just come over here like this and do a nice round planet, and then we'll put the rings in here. And everyone recognizes that as Saturn. We could also put the moon, of course, and unless we're just going to put the round moon, we'd want to put a crescent moon in there, just to kind of give us some of our heavenly bodies. Now, I'm just going to go into this corner and show you, if you don't want to get cornered with your star, if you go across first and into the corner, then you'll end out of the corner. I learned that a long time ago after I got cornered a million times. And I'll just end right there. This square, I decided to just use my channel locks. So I'm going to put on my horizontal channel lock, and I'll go across, and then I just have my thumb up here, and I will use my ruler. I can see my lines there. I'm just going to go 3 lines every time I move up. So I just keep stitching till I get 3 lines. There we go. And then I can go across. You could also use your ruler if you don't have a channel lock, and just kind of use the applique to come across. If you just want to do 1/4 inch, then all you would have to do is move it up just till your foot is right there, and then you could do 1/4 inch. But we are going up 3 lines, there we go, and then over. So you could do that using your channel lock, or you can use it using your ruler like this. We'll just continue this till we get up to the top of the block. Kind of have to follow that over and up. There we go. Make sure that that's lined up. Come across, and remember, when you use a ruler, it's only where your fingers are that you have any control. Now this time I am going to use that lock, because it's such a long ways. So I can just use that lock and go across like that, then take my lock off, come up and go across. Now, of course, I could leave it that way because I think that looks nice too, just like that. Or I can come across like this, and this time I'll use my vertical lock as I come down. And you take the lock off and then stitch across. And again, I could use those 3, there we go, and put my lock on and just go up. So I'm using my ruler now just to measure it. Come across, one more little tiny bit there, and then my lock. So we get that cross-hatching effect. This one is not heavy cross-hatching by any means, because none of the quilting on this quilt is heavy. So I want to keep it that way. Now I'm kind of eyeballing it, which I'm quite famous for eyeballing stuff, simply because I just like to get things done, and I think that my eyes are pretty good at it, and I bet yours are too. There we go. Oh, I'm quite pleased with that. Now what we can do, if we wanted to make that a little bit more fancy, would be to come back in every other one and do some patterned meandering. And then see, just skip over and come into this one. And you can just follow a line up to where you need to be. Don't worry about stitching on that twice. It's way better than stopping and starting. But you could also just leave it the way it was, because, you know, just plain sometimes is all we need. And it looks very old-fashioned, and that certainly would go with an antique quilt. This really makes every other square really poof up out of the quilt. Next to something so geometric, I think I'll put something a little softer, curvier in here. And I'm going to use the C. So if I come across here like this, using the C, follow the side over here, follow the shape down here, but keeping it in this C shape. If you think of a curve like this, you'll be good. If you don't think of that C, it will turn into a straight line, and it really isn't as pretty as that nice curve. Now in the middle here, you see I can come across like this with an oval, and come around, and come right into the center. You'll be surprised at how well you can do this. And then as I look for the center of those lines as I come out, I am sewing in constant mode. As I come out like this, over, over, C, curve it over to the side, watch your sides, watch your applique, nice curve, and it gets smaller as we get out here. Okay, this one, I'm so excited about this one. I'm going to do a star. So I put the star template on here and decide exactly how I want it placed, which I think that's very nice. Wait till you see this. This is exciting, what I'm going to do with this one. I will go into regulated so I can get started here. Now notice I didn't start in a point on that star. You see I just hold that. I'm trying to keep my fingers kind of out of the way of the camera so you can see. As I go around, I go into the point. The template's made to go into the point, and then I'll come back and then I can move my star template. And you see I started on the long line of the star. Now while I'm here, I'm just going to drag my thread over, and I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm going to go around a circle about 4 times like that. Now from the side of the star, I'm going to go into constant, and I'll be coming out like this. I'm just going to do some little circles like that as I come around. My echo, I could do some more circles. Come in, I'm going to come out again. I want to reach out into all these areas. I don't want to do a whole feather, you know, both sides, so I might even switch sides now and again as I come across. Like that as I come back. And some more circles out here like this. Right on top of that star, coming out of the middle. And the other side. Just make it really light and airy and fun. But they go right on top of the star. Since I had a feather on that side, I'll have to equal it out here. Put some little feathers over here. Kind of a fickle feather. Can't decide which side the feathers are going to be on. Okay, so those came off of the side of the star in the middle. So we're done in the middle now. Now I want that to look like it's coming from underneath here. So now these will come up here like this and back to the middle, up to the corner, back to the middle. These are the strings that are, I think that's enough, maybe one more over here. But those just came to the edge of the star, so now it looks like this is hanging underneath. The star is raised up. In fact, we could raise it up even more if we just want to go around the star. Let's just go around the star at least 3 times. I could do 5, 4. I have to do more than 2. 2 makes it always look like a mistake, but you can really clean it up if you go around it a little bit more. A few more times. There we go. Next to that, I'm going to put a feather, kind of a feather medallion, and I'm coming up with a teardrop. And I come over with a little smile, and over here with a little smile, and come back. So it forms a heart. And I'll come out on top of that one, over with a little smile, over with a little smile, and there's another heart on top of that one. And then one more time. This is taking me clear over to the edge. Little smile, and out to the edge. And now I'll come over here with these feathers where you backtrack on that like that. Come back over here, up to the top, backtrack on it like that. And then I'll fill in that entire thing. I'll follow my edge over to get back over here in order to do the feathers on this side. Backtrack over that feather. That takes a little practice. Don't be discouraged if it doesn't, you know, it's not perfect the first time. And then back over here, and again I'll follow this edge over just so it'll look nice on that back side. Oh, I might even come in here and just put, I just did a little at the top of those, like that, just to give it a little spark. Now I'm going to do some leaves. And I do these kind of leaves when I outline applique and then come back and put stems in them. I like to do those kind. And you see how this just conforms to those curves at the top of that applique. Let's come around and put a couple of curls in. Notice how I curve back with that. Swing out, come over and curve in like that. And let's just continue with those leaves. Just going to straight lines like that, but it gives it a really nice texture. And it's easy to fill in. And don't worry if the leaf shape, I know we're always like, ooh, is that the way a leaf looks? Yes, it is. And I'm sure somewhere in the world you can find a leaf that looks just like that. Come over here like this. I'm trying to stay out of that 1/4 inch on the side because I know, we'll be binding over there. And back like that. Come over here. And then we can just come out again with our leaves over here. Or we could come out again with some curls to fill in. I'll just sort of do the same thing on the other side with my leaf. And curl at the bottom. This one I had curl the other direction, like that. And I like that ribbony look. I'm just going to come down through the center like this, and then I'll start my little spider right here. They have 8 legs. Last I counted. And I'll just come across with some little eyes. There we go. Kind of looks like a bug. This kind of shows off on that block. Next time on Linda's Longarm Quilting, my guest Pat Berry will be here to show us the amazing ability of computerized quilting for custom work. And we will be finishing our work on the antique quilt with an additional 27 techniques. That's a total of 63 different and unique designs on one quilt. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it. See you then.